Mason Kirshner.
I'm Emma Erickson.
And I'm Luke Rose.
And today we'll be preparing for you one of my personal favorite childhood recipes, one so yummy that I had my mom copy it down for my daycare lady. The recipe we will be demonstrating today is a variation of fruit salsa that is enjoyed with crunchy cinnamon sugar tortilla chips. We chose to present this recipe to you today because it requires a very minimal time commitment, is very inexpensive, and is super easy to make. This recipe is also very appealing to little kids as it is sweet. It's also great for moms and dads as it's packed with healthy fruits.
Okay, so to start this recipe, we will start with the chips because they require some cooking time in the oven. It should only take about 5 minutes at 425 degrees. So I'm just going to take them out of the bag, and I'm going to lightly brush them with some water with this pastry brush. And you don't want to get too much water on there, else they'll get a little bit soggy, and they'll crack easier in the oven. So just lightly brush them with water.
And in this recipe, you could use butter to give it a little bit of flavor on the tortilla because butter does give great flavor. But as we were thinking about health and the health of our kids, we decided to use water to stick the cinnamon and sugar tortillas.
Yep.
Because that can work as a binder as well.
Now I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon sugar on them, and you don't want to get too much again because it's supposed to be a little bit healthier recipe. So just get a decent amount on there and get it all over the tortilla so it's evenly spaced out. So just sprinkle that on there. And now I'm going to cut them into chip-sized pieces with this pizza cutter. And I like to do it in 4s. You can do it in however many pieces you want. You can do it in 8. But I like a little bit bigger sized chip. So once you get that cut up, then you can put them in the oven for about 5 minutes at 425 degrees.
Alrighty, and now that we have the chips in the oven, we're going to start to create our salsa. And this fruit salsa includes many different fruits, all of which are low in calories and fats, but are very high in vitamins, minerals, and fiber.
Alright, so now we're going to start off by cutting up a kiwi. And it is important to wash all of your fruit before you cut it on the cutting board because there's bacteria on the outside of the fruit usually. And then if you cut into the fruit, that bacteria can get into the fruit and then you can get sick, and that's just not good. Do you have a... Okay, sorry. And probably what you didn't know about kiwi is that you don't actually have to peel it. The peel of the kiwi actually has a lot of fiber in it, and fiber is really good for you because it is good for your gut health, and if your gut is happy, your whole immune system is probably very happy too. So we want to cut off the ends because this part, can you see this, is not good for you to eat. And then you cut it in half, and then you dice it up like so.
And when cutting, as you can see here, it's really important to try to find the flat side of your fruit because if you were to try to cut this like this, a little bit slippery all over, so try to find the flat side of your fruit. Yep.
You should tip the mirror a little bit.
Back or front?
Like back.
Yeah.
A little more. There you go.
Yeah.
Alright. So that's one half. And also, when you are washing your kiwi, you will notice that there's a bunch of fuzzy stuff on the outside of it. And if you don't want that in your salsa, you can just rub it off with a paper towel and it will easily come off. And that is what I did here. So,
Alrighty. And while she's finishing up that kiwi, I'm going to start with the apple here. And when I'm going to cut this washed apple that we have here. And when I cut my apples, I like to start with a big knife to split it in half and then to split it into 4s. And then I move on to a paring knife to get the core out, because obviously nobody wants to eat an apple core. But we're going to leave the peel on because, echoing Emma, the peel has a lot of vitamins and minerals and fiber. So let's try to always eat the peel on our fruits. Apples are really high in fiber, so eating apples gives a lot of fiber into our diets. And fiber is not only good for our digestive system, but also can reduce the risk of heart disease and certain cancers within people. So if we're looking for fiber in our diets, the best place to look is fruits and vegetables that you can eat the seeds, that have edible seeds and skins, as they have the most fiber in them. So as I'm cutting up this apple, I'm holding it on both sides, and then I'm going to start to dice it, as we want to get smaller pieces for ourselves, so you don't want to eat a huge chunk of apple in your salsa. One good thing about this recipe that I like to mention is that it requires no heat for the salsa and no cooking time, and this helps to preserve the vitamins and minerals within fruit. because as they are cooked, those vitamins and minerals can leach out into the water that they're in. So I think that's a big important part of this recipe is that you're using fresh fruit, and fresh fruit is all very low in sodium. So that's great for you.
All right, so now we're going to cut up the strawberries. And we don't have a straw here today, but if you wanted to, you could stick the straw up one end of the strawberry and then the top would just peel off, and then you aren't throwing away as much of the strawberry as you want to. But what I do is I just take off the top of all three, and then instead of just like cutting off like half of the strawberry so you aren't wasting as much fruit. And then you also just want to cut them up into little tiny pieces so that your kids don't choke on them and you don't get a huge chunk of strawberry in your salsa. And strawberries are also very good for you, especially because they have lots of minerals and vitamins in them. Yeah, they're good for you.
Alrighty, and now I'm going to combine these apples into here. And as you can tell, we had a couple apples pre-cut for this recipe because there is a lot of cutting to do. But it's important to consider the fruits that you're picking for a salsa because this is a very flexible recipe. For example, if someone doesn't like apples, you can substitute pineapples or mangoes. Or if someone doesn't like kiwi, we can do something else. Do you guys have any ideas of good fruits that you can substitute within a fruit salsa? But you also have to keep in mind that this is going to get mixed around, it's going to be put on chips, it's going to be tossed around, so these fruits have to have a little structure, and they can't be really hastily browned. You guys have any ideas? No?
How about oranges? Could you put oranges in there?
You could, but the way that we incorporate the orange into this recipe is the juice. These oranges are a little bit messy, they have a lot of liquid in them, so they get a little bit difficult.
And also, keep in mind when you're washing the strawberries, you don't want to wash them like days before you use them because then moisture can get into the strawberries and then that can also create a lot of mold when it's just sitting in the fridge. So you want to wash them right before you use them so you don't get your strawberries all moldy.
Okay, so now I'm going to juice the orange with an orange juicer. Okay, and then we're going to juice it in there, get all the juice out, get this little spray, try and get it around so it mixes it around. Okay, then we'll do the other one. And also another convenient thing with the tortillas is that they are fairly inexpensive and there's not much to them. So, and we did decide to go with the whole wheat route today. Just because it is a little more healthy and it has a lot of benefits to it.
Alright, so after the juice of one orange is added, we're going to add into this recipe 2 tablespoons of we chose strawberry jelly, you can use whatever jelly you like. And then also 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And if you would like to, you could omit both of these within the recipe as they are added sugars, but I think they work as a good flavor and a good combiner within this recipe, as they add a little bit to it. Another thing that I really, really love about this recipe that I mentioned earlier is the flexibility of it. So obviously there's seasons within the year and fruits change and they grow within different seasons. So it could be cost effective to consider what growing season we're in. For example, we're in winter right now and we can find apples, pears, and kiwis in season, therefore they'll probably be a little bit cheaper at the grocery store. But opposingly, in the summertime, we can find cantaloupes and strawberries and mangoes in season, and they can all be used great for fruit salsa. We can always use canned fruit, because that's often a little bit more inexpensive than fresh fruit. We also have to be wary of the sugar content that's within the syrups that those canned fruits are stored in. This substitution is also good for those with allergies, as I know my little sister is allergic to pineapple, so pineapple in a fruit salsa is probably not a good idea at our house. Alrighty, and now that we have all of this combined, we're just going to wait for our tortilla chips, and then it'll be done.
Question?
Yeah, so did you just use those 3 fruits then?
Yep.
Okay.
So I read on Facebook that if you use honey, that's way better for you than like brown sugar.
Surprisingly, opposing to what many people think, sugars in your body is all processed the same, no matter where it comes from. So once that honey or brown sugar is in your stomach, your body takes it and does the exact same thing. Sugar is sugar is sugar, yet this fruit is more healthy than a pile of white sugar because it comes with vitamins and minerals and fiber. So it has those added nutrients in it. But no, the honey will not really do anything for the recipe.
You could add honey though if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can add less too,
Mhm.
and it'll still.
And that could be a flavor thing.
Yeah.
For example, if you like the flavor of honey over brown sugar, I know a lot of people do. Don't like that molassesy flavor, but this recipe is really flexible, and that's part of the reason we picked it, because sometimes kids are picky, and sometimes adults are picky, and sometimes cost works out different ways. So you're able to do really whatever you want with the recipe. Alrighty, thank you guys.
All right, well, I would just.
Yep, they're done.
Yeah, okay.
That's it.